All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the first look Draftkings lineup. It is NFL Week 4. I am Kevin Allen from DFS Army, and this is the first look. All right. We're coming off a big NFL Week 3, and we're back at it again. NFL Week 4, DraftKings first look lineup. I have the DraftKings pricing system up in front of me. But before we do that, I always want to take a look at our game tiles and get a feel for which games we want to be targeting in this week's slate. So let's take a quick look at the DFS Army Domination Station Optimizer right here and our game tiles, where we're going to look at the green tiles, better, red tiles, worse, higher totals, good, lower totals, bad. And right off the bat, I see a couple of games of interest here. Obviously, Kansas City is always an exciting offense, 54-point total, very big team total here as well. 7-point spread, a little bit wide. Eagles coming off a game where they didn't look so great, but Kansas City pretty weak against the run, and Eagles, defensively been pretty good at pressuring the quarterback. So we'll see how this goes. Here's a game I'm a little bit interested in as well. Falcons, Washington. I think Washington's been a little bit underrated. Falcons a little overrated here. I like Washington to win this game, and I'm happy to give the points. So if you're a bettor, I like that bet. I've got another bet for you I'm going to give out on the first look today. Don't normally like to give out bets, but I will give another one out. So stay tuned for that as we go through the game time. I'm going to tell you about a game I like a lot. It's actually not on the main slate, so I don't think it's on the main slate. No. So I will tell you about that at the end. So stick around. Love our bets. All right, going through the games. Here's a 50.5-point total. Dallas Panthers, both defenses a little bit better, I think, than advertised. A little surprising. But 50.5 points here isn't bad. 5-point spread. So I like the look of this. But again, I really like the salaries you'll see on some of the players in this game, especially the pass catchers. We can get pretty much all of them in the 6K range on DraftKings. So that's a game I'm very excited for, just because the price of some of the stacks that we're doing. Here's another one, 52-point total on the Vikings and Browns game here. Browns are a really good defense, so I'm not sure I want to get crazy with this one, but I'm a little bit interested in the Cleveland side of this game. We've got, of course, the running backs from Cleveland, but I'm probably most interested in OBJ in this one. Moving on, I mean, obviously there's going to be a slaughter here with the Bills coming in to destroy the Texans. I don't really want a whole lot to do with this game, even with the high team total for the Bills, but I think it is worth noting that the Bills sometimes just step on the throats of their opponents. So Josh Allen can get there even in the game where it's not supposed to be close. Bears, Lions, doesn't really look great to me from a scoring perspective. No idea who the quarterback for the Bears will be. Jets, Titans, this is the spot for Derrick Henry to smash Titans defense. Derrick Henry, going to be beautiful. I don't want a whole lot else to do with this game, but Derrick Henry is definitely going to be interesting. Massive favorite against the Jets defense, where Titans defense will be popular. Giants, Saints, got to be on the Saints side of this one. Not really expecting a whole lot of 43-point total. Here's one that looks, a couple that look pretty good here. San Francisco, Seattle should be a barn burner. I like a lot of the pieces from this game. Brandon Ayuk broke out last week. Seattle always has, Lockett and Metcalf. We got to see what the health of Lockett looks like right now. I know I saw him kind of get banged up in that last game. Rams, Cardinals. Rams defense, very good. Love the Rams offense in this game. 54.5-point total. Stafford has been en fuego. Not much going on for the run. We got to check out who the running back is. If Darrell Henderson's out, Sony Michel, really exciting. But those are the kind of things we're going to have to wait till later in the week for. I'm going to be less excited about the Cardinals, but I think anytime you get Kyler Murray in a game where he's expected to be trailing, I think that leads to good things with his legs. So for the most part, that's about it for me. The only other game I really have a lot of interest in, maybe the Packers in terms of either an Aaron Jones or Devontae Adams piece. So let's get right into it here. Jump over to the DraftKings screen, and I always start my lineups I always start my lineups on defense. Actually, I promised you a bet. I'm going to give you one. Patriots. Bucks. Bucks favored by 6.5. Look for the Bucks to smash. So I have already bet the Bucks this week. And if you want more bets and that kind of info, make sure you download the Sharp app, which is our sister company that is all about sports gambling, all about sports betting advice and tools, similar to DFS Army. Totally free app. Sharp app. Go to the App Store, iOS, Android, whatever it is. Go to the App Store. Download the Sharp app. Everything you need for gambling. Bets of the day. Tons of picks. Comparative odds. The Sharp Academy training series. Really everything you need as a sports bettor, just the tools, track your bets. It's really awesome. It's a free app. Check it out. Sharp app, iPhone, Android, all those good things. All right, so let's start at the bottom, guys. I always start at the bottom. Cheapest viable defense. Because that's who I want to play. Last week we played the Bengals. They scored 12 points. Fine by me. I was happy with it. Right? So we've got Jets. All right, a consideration against Tennessee. Okay, fine. I'm not playing Houston against Buffalo. I'm not playing Philly. Lions against Chicago. Oh my. That's an underpriced Lion team. Again, if they play Fields, turnover machine, I think I'm going with the Lions, baby. I don't see anything else that's popping off the page here. Lions, 2,200. Let's pop that right in and hope that they play Big Dick Nick or it doesn't matter if it's Fields. Fields did terrible last week. I think he could do better here, but, he's still Fields, still a rookie. We're going to take that for a cheap defense. Don't care what we get. All right, next up, I like to take a look at the running back position and see how cheap of a running back I can find to squeeze into these lineups to make it work at wide receiver. So I'm just going to start scrolling my way up here from the bottom of the RB. Devin Singletary, they never get a whole lot of touches in Buffalo, but, more of a tournament play. I like volume at the running back position, but in such an incredible matchup against Houston, I think Singletary can be in consideration. Trey Sermon's really interesting for me, 5K. I think the amount of volume he got last week, it might go up a little bit. I think with a week of experience, he could get a little bit more. I wasn't happy with the volume the other night, made up for it with a touchdown. Got a couple passing game targets, didn't do a whole lot with it. But Green Bay was whooping the 49ers. That was kind of an oddball game. And in the case of this one, I don't know how it's going to go. So Trey Sermon, an interesting piece, but far from a lock. Mike Davis has been getting targets in the passing game, but just not doing enough. Just not doing enough, these 10s and 12s. I think it's an okay cash play. He'll get enough volume to get you there, but not somebody I'm excited to play in tournaments. Sony Michel, if he's the starter, and if there's no Darrell Henderson Jr. in this one, then I'm all about Sony Michel. Well, you never can tell. Well, my Sony Michel. Except if Darrell Henderson is playing, I'm not into it, right? I don't want the split. I want all the carries. He had great volume in a horrible matchup last week. I honestly think that if Sony Michel is the starter in this game, let me make it very clear, and there is no Darrell Henderson vulturing, he will smash this salary-based expectation. So I'm very into that play. Just saying. Zach Moss price up. Like, why? So Clyde Edwards-Helaire is another player that we have to be interested in. We just saw Dallas run all over. I'm not super interested, but we just saw Dallas run all over the Eagles last night, do whatever they want. So there's a little bit of mild interest there. Chuba Montgomery. Also, it's Detroit. It's a really good spot. If there's a competent quarterback at the helm for Chicago, I'm interested in Montgomery at this price. If it's Fields, I think it's super, super, super risky because Fields was so bad that the offense just could not move, and that does not bode well for the running back. What I do like, though, is Chuba Hubbard. I don't know what's not to like here. Chuba Hubbard pretty much gets the Mike Davis from last season treatment by the Panthers, a game of experience under his belt. Yeah, he's priced up. He's priced at full price. This is no bargain, but it's a really good matchup. High scoring potential game. So I've got some interest in him. I've definitely got some interest in Swift as well. Swift has just been putting up points, 23, 24. He's always low owned. He gets 7 targets, 11 targets. The target volume can be massive for this kid. I love Swift here. Chris Carson is always a yeoman-like play. Are we going to pop Swift in here? I don't know. I know who I'm going to, but I want to just keep going through it here because Chris Carson, always a yeoman-like play. Nice for cash games, but the guy I'm interested in for this spot, I like Swifty. I'm down with him. But the guy I'm interested in right here is Taylor. John Taylor. The volume hasn't been there, but the game scripts have been against them. I'm going to give you this one. Man, I hate the Buffalo backs. I don't, you're going to guess. You'll get it right once in a while, but it's not for me. Like Singletary one week, Moss the next week. It's just random, and they don't run it that much. I'm not into it, although this game script does favor them, but I don't know which one is better. I think it's Moss, but maybe not. Switches every week. It's a disaster. Jonathan Taylor hasn't done it yet this year, but this could be the spot. Miami, not really a very good offense, not likely to run away with the game. I think the Colts are essentially the better defensive team in this one. Miami's a good team, but the offense right now is just not that great with Jacoby Brissett in there. So I think that the Colts will hang around. And if they are, that's Jonathan Taylor doing that for them. I think that Zeke Elliott is once again a viable play. Got a ton of run. You saw the way they used him this past week. Lots of carries. Not getting the 27, 28 touches that we love, but doing enough to justify a $6,500 price point. But the guy I really want, and since I only play 2 running backs on Draftkings, I don't need to worry too much about it, is I want to pay up this week and just grab me some Derrick Henry in the, in a dream matchup against a Jets team that's been overwhelmed. This could be a 3 touchdown affair for Derrick Henry. Really easy guy to slot in there. And this second RB spot, we'll leave that open over the course of the week to try to figure out what to do. Okay, next up, I kind of want to build. I like to find wide receivers that are priced really well that we can build around, or that are underpriced that we can build around. But we're always going to build it around a game environment. So for this first look lineup, I think the game I want to go with, based on just some salaries that I found really attractive, is go right back to my boy Dak Prescott and see about building around this Carolina-Dallas game. And by the way, I don't mind a Teddy Bridgewater approach to it either. I think that's a little more crazy tournament, but, why not? So slot in Dak Prescott, and alongside Dak, we can take a little piece out of Amari Cooper. Let's see where CeeDee Lamb is priced. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb's a little more expensive. I'm going to go with Amari Cooper in this one, and I'm going to bring it back with DJ Moore from Dallas. Nice little game stack going on right there. I like that approach. My go-to, Mike Williams, isn't on this slate, unfortunately. We've been crushing with him. Cooper Kupp is priced all the way up in Devontae Adams territory and Tyreek Hill. They finally did it. We're finally not going to be auto-clicking Cooper Kupp this week, which is going to make DFS a little bit harder, but we'll get that figured out as well. Yeah, this is ridiculous, the salary for Brandon Cooks. Where's Brandon Ayuk? Yes. All right, so here we go. Brandon Ayuk, 5K. Love this play. All the way down at 5K. Still haven't adjusted his price for what he did on Sunday. This guy's involved on the team now, getting some targets. Decent day. 5K. It's a little bit low. That was a rough game. I think that participation is going to go up. They're going to need to be throwing a ton to Brandon Ayuk in this one. 4,200 left. What that means is we're going to have to really pay down at tight end to make a lineup work. That's what you get when you want to play Derrick Henry. So let's see if we can find a really cheap tight end to make it work with. I mean, Tyler Conklin looked pretty good last week. Pat Freiermuth. He's been pretty decent. Evan Ingram, such garbage. 6 targets, 2 receptions, 4 drops. Yeah, I mean, I think Tremble's going to be popular. part of the game that we want to stack. So it just makes a lot of sense here to go this way. Add the stack piece for Carolina. I think he might be too popular. I don't know if I want to do it. But for this one, we can consider it because it does fit with the stack. But remember, what we're counting on here is the fact that they traded away Dan Arnold this week, so he'll get more snaps. We'll see if that happens. But at 2,500, does it really matter? Probably not. At 2,500, even if you get a 0, it's not actually going to kill the lineup. And I think it's a little too much of this game to go with Chuba Hubbard. Plus, I don't really like to use running backs in the flex on Draftkings. So let me take a quick look at who we have left here. Not Allen Robinson. Odell Beckham, baby. I like this play. I mean, Smith, there's a lot of good plays here. Odell Beckham. But we can go to Odell Beckham. He got the rust out. Got the rust out a little bit. Ertz could work. They call him Zach. What do they call him? Zach No Yak in Philadelphia. Because he don't get the yak anymore. I call him Frosted Tips. Frosted Tips, because he spends more time at the beauty parlor frosting up his tips, getting those blonde tips than he does watching game film. Frosted Tips, Zach. Odell Beckham I like here. So he knocked the dust off a little bit in this past week's game. Didn't need him. Still did his thing. Odell's got the Frosted Tips, boys and girls. But I think he gets him at the barbershop. I don't feel like he goes to the beauty parlor like Zach Ertz does. Zach Ertz is at the beauty parlor. Manny Sanders feels like chasing last week's score. I don't like to chase last week's score. That's what makes me feel a little gross about Tremble as well. I don't like to chase the score from last week. Not too hard, especially a fluky one. But with Odell, he got a lot of targets, and Jarvis Landry's still out, and this game should be very high scoring. I love Odell this week. So I'm going with that, right? Let's the one thing I'd like to do, I'm not feeling so great about the tight end position, but for a first look lineup, elite quarterback that not a lot of people are going to play, coming off a rough game where he didn't score very well, 21 points last week, a little disappointing, I would say, in the total. Not terrible, but a little disappointing. Jonathan Taylor, the low-owned running back in a good spot that hasn't broken out yet. Derrick Henry, elite player, elite spot. We've got a game stack, Cooper, Moore, Tremble here. Solid player in another game that we're targeting, Brandon Ayuk, starting to break out a little bit. And we finish it off with one of the other. So notice what I did here was I made sure that most of the players in this lineup are coming. There's correlation, quarterback, wide receiver, opposing wide receiver, tight end, all part of the same game. Got the correlation. And we got all pieces of games that are high total games. Henry, his team total's massive. But all the wide receivers, Beckham, Cleveland, Minnesota, 50-plus points. Carolina, Dallas, 50-plus points. So there we go. And straight up, I mean, I always love Adams. I always love Kelsey at the top. It's going to be hard to. I was able on the FanDuel first look lineup to make a lineup with Adams and Cooper Kupp in it, which was awesome because we're able to save some salary. That was a pretty awesome lineup, actually. The FanDuel one, and FanDuel allows you to do a lot more things. The salary system is much more loose, allows you to do whatever you want. On DraftKings here, I always want to play Kelsey and I always want to play Devontae Adams, but can't always afford it. I think this is probably, though, the spot where Devontae Adams isn't played enough. Like, this is a 30-point-a-week guy, and we should probably figure out a way to squeeze him in a lineup. Let's see what we got here. When you look at the wide receiver quarterback, Matt, does height difference change your mind for wide receiver picks? No. Javad, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to let you in on a trade secret of mine. Okay? Don't tell anybody about this. This is only for you guys who are hanging out watching this video. Dude, fuck the cornerback wide receiver charts for the most part. The only time I even care is if there's an elite cornerback shutdown in play in the game. Beyond that, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what your height is. I don't care what your speed is. I don't care what anything is. If your name is Yair Alexander, I'm interested in you. If your name is Xavier, the fuck is I can't even remember these guys' name. Tre'Davious White, the Miami cornerback whose name escapes me right now. If you're Jalen Ramsey, those are problems. How can I tell when a player is too expensive? That's a great question. So you want to look at opportunity, right? And Eli, when you look at these salaries, one of the things I train myself to do, and I want you to train your mind to do, when you look at the salaries, is I want you to look at Tyreek Hill 8K and don't think like, all right, 8K, what's that? Think, in order to win a tournament, I need 4x this guy's salary in points. 8, 16, 24, 32. So for 8K Tyreek Hill, you have to say to yourself, unless he gets me 30 plus fantasy points, he's not helping my lineup. He's not helping me win a tournament. So always think about the salary in terms of just do the multiplication in your head as you see it. Like when you see Deebo Samuel at 6,500, you're like, all right, well, 6, 12, 18, 24 plus the fives is, all right, 26, 27 fantasy points is what I need from this guy. Can he get me 26, 27? And then say, and then say, all right, what about how is he destroying my cash lineup? So this is the second component. For tournaments, all I care about is what is 4 or 5x their salary in points? And can this player really realistically get that? Is he likely to get it for me? So I'm looking at a guy like DJ Moore and I'm going, well, this guy's been putting up 23 points a game at 6K, 6, 12, 18, 24. His average score pretty much this season so far in games that were unsexy, right? Were shitty environments. He's been hitting about 4x or just under it. So imagine what might happen with him in a game environment that's a plus game environment, right? So that's what I look at for these players when I look at their salary. So I'm always looking, all right, if we go cheap with one of these guys. Now, here's an interesting caveat to that multiplication factor. We want the expensive players on our lineup to smash 4x their salary. The cheaper guys, like a Tommy Tremble, I'll give you an example. If Tommy Tremble at 2,500, if you think like, oh, 10 points, he hit 4x, that's great. No, when the cheap guys in your lineup, the 3K, the sub 4K guys, the sub 5K guys, they really need to hit 5x or greater to make value. So when I see guys that are cheap under 5,000, like a 4K player, I think, can they score 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 fantasy points, maybe 24? That's how you win a tournament. So yeah, I mean, you could use Darnold here too. You can totally use Darnold here. I thought about it because I have, but I just don't want to allow Tremble to force me. You know, I don't want to feel pressured, but I don't want to feel pressured to change my quarterback. But yes, so we'll do a different version. I mean, Darnold, right? But he's been fine. He's a little priced up for Sam Darnold, but you know, he's been putting up decent numbers. Can't really complain. But you know, if you put in Darnold, you can upgrade this spot and, you know, potentially get somebody a little bit better. It ain't exactly the who's who of studs in this price range, but yeah, I mean, that could work too. I really wish we could count on Sony Michel. See, this is what I think will happen later in the week. I think you'll be able to put Sony Michel. Maybe we'll find out Sony Michel's a starter. Maybe Darrell Henderson will be out. And now we really have some salary to work with. We can get up to here we go. A Noah Fant would be a pretty decent play here. Man, this tight end position is still gross, though. Probably going to have to find a super punt wide receiver this week when we make our actual real life lineup. Let me go through this. We don't know early in the week a lot of times who's going to pop. Quez, okay. KJ Osborne has been a cheap piece the last few weeks. You know, could work. Darnell Mooney, If Big Dick Nick is the quarterback, you know, Darnell Mooney might be interesting. Terrace Marshall, how about this? Darnold, more Terrace Marshall. No one thinking about playing Terrace Marshall, right? But again, high scoring affair. Now we could put something a little more studly in our tight end position here. Maybe a Kyle Pitts or a Logan Thomas or something like that. So there are a lot of different ways to go about this. Osborne, Waddle, all good suggestions, guys. I agree with all of these. So a lot of good ways to go this week. One of the important things to do, it's Tuesday. Keep in mind that just like last week, I mean, we got the Dalvin Cook news late in the week. All of a sudden, Alexander Mattison, all in play. Sunday morning, we had to change our whole approach. Last week, we find out Saquon Barkley going to get the full workload. They sit Devontae Booker. Boom, all in play. A lot of news comes in Saturday and Sunday. Obviously, this is the first look, and it's more just about getting a feel for the different salaries and games. But I definitely like some of these wide receiver middling price points. I feel like Derrick Henry needs to be in your DraftKings lineup this week, or really should be. Yeah, Odeus Zacchaeus, or what the hell? I can't pronounce his first name, but Zacchaeus, I had him on my sheet last week, was a great play, and we should get more of that again with Russell Gage out. So, yeah, Ayuk is in here already, or he was in here before. So where the hell's Ayuk? Yeah, I switched him out, but Ayuk is very playable as well. So yeah, a lot of good potential plays, guys. Great stuff. Remember, if you are not currently signed up at DFS Army, I don't know why. You want these tools. You want the chalkboard. You want the Players Club VIP podcast. You want the Domination Station optimizer. You want every sport covered. You want top 3 ranked. We get ranked in DFS Army for our accuracy every year. We came out, I think number 1 NBA, top 3 PGA, number 1 NASCAR. We have an independent company called Daily Overlay that comes in and audits this stuff, and we win it all the time. It's why our members win more than other sites do. So check this out. Free offer plan on DFS Army. You click right here on the DFS Army website. It shows you all these different ways. You sign up for one of these sites, Super Draft, Prize Picks, Underdog, whatever. You're not signed up at all of these. Whichever one you sign up for, you do a new depositing account. It's that simple. You let us know. You signed up using our link. Boom. We give you a free month of DFS Army. For a month of DFS Army is $69. Deposit $20 at one of these. It's cheaper. And then you get to play the money. It's great. Play the prop sites. They're awesome. Prize Picks, we have a tool for it. Super Draft, we have a tool for it. It's really awesome. Members of the body, I already did the FanDuel one. So check first, that tells me you're not subscribed to the channel. So make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification. I did FanDuel earlier. Just check the Twitter channel or the YouTube channel here for the week 4 FanDuel one. It is done already. Man, I don't play CSGO. I played League DFS, throughout the pandemic, and I liked it. I just don't play CSGO, so I can't do the stream, man. I can't fake it. I got to play it, learn it. Can't do that one, my man. All right, guys, good luck this week. I will be back here on this channel on Thursday for the game plan with John Statsational Alessia. We'll break down the entire slate. Game by game with the core 4 games. We're going to get in depth for DFS purposes. Also on the Sharp app on Wednesday night, I will be joined by the GOAT himself, Anthony Gargano, to look at all the games of the week from a betting angle perspective. Make sure you download the Sharp app, of course. And for DFS Army VIPs on Saturday, as always, get your Blue Moons ready. We're going to have the Players Club. You know how we do. Going to go through the slate. Going to smash like we always do. All right, good luck, everyone. I'll see you next time. Deuces.